What if your emotions weren't holding you back, but pointing you towards the you that's been waiting to rise? Underneath the old beliefs, emotional wounds, and people pleasing, you know there's more. More joy, more peace, more of you ready to rise. It's time to step into and claim your penthouse potential. Welcome to Emotional Elevator with Sandee Byrd, your transformational coach, corporate wellness facilitator, and nervous system regulator. Let's rise.
Well, let's rise, everyone. And have you ever noticed how the words you use don't describe your life? They actually shape the world you're living in. That's what tonight's show is all about here on Emotional Elevator on Inspired Choices Network. If you're out there in the other world, real world, Facebook world, wherever you are, if you want to come and have a chat anytime, come over to the chat room. Because would love engagement. I've had it before, but I'd love engagement. So tonight's show is all about how your words create your world. Like I said, have you ever noticed how the words you use don't describe your life? They actually shape the world you're living in. In this episode of Emotional Elevator, I will invite you to look at the language you live inside from permission and possibility. We'll explore why resolution can sound something that needs to be fixed, while evolution reflects natural upward growth. We'll also talk about shifting from healing to expanding and from but to and, so your language supports who you are becoming instead of who you were taught to be. Because how can you honor how far you've come and still feel the call to rise? The words I'm going to explore are resolution, evolution, healing to expanding, broken to becoming, trigger to challenged, trauma to my story, fixing to understanding, stuck in the process, but and. What word are you ready to release so your language supports the world you're creating? So, this is a big topic for me. When I I didn't step into 2026. This is 2026. So if you're listening to me in the future, right now it's 2026. I know you can't be listening to me in the past, but 2026, January 1st or January 2nd, everyone was talking about what's your resolution. And I'm like, I don't have a resolution. I have an evolution. I'm like, what do you mean everyone's got a resolution? And I started listening to big names, not going to name them. I was talking about your resolution for this year should be, and they're pointing and they're talking and they're in this dominant voice. And I'm like, there's nothing wrong with me. There's nothing I need to fix. There's nothing. So a resolution to me is a solution to a problem. Like, think about it. You're a mom or a boss or something, and you say, so why don't we come up with a solution, a resolution to that problem? It makes you think. But when we talk about our lives, do we really want to sit there and say, what is my resolution for this year that I need to fix, that I need to solve a problem of? No, what I want to do is evolve in the body I have. I mean, how does that sound? My resolution is to go to the gym more and lose weight and become healthier. That's my resolution. But if I say this year I'm going to evolve, go to the gym more, invite in healthy choices for myself, and embrace the body I have. Sounds more enlightening. It sounds more inviting. Because I'm wondering if, since we've been told our whole life, you need a resolution, if maybe that's why we don't stick to it. Because we're realizing 3 weeks in, wait a minute, what's my problem? No, but if you invited in, I want to evolve this year, and I do have things that I'm inviting into me that is an evolution or an evolving part of me this year that I'm going to work on all year because I've written it down. I've visualized it. That's where vision boards can come in too. And I've chosen these things for myself. So that's a big one. Think about that. Would you rather have a resolution, like there's a problem you need to solve, or you need a solution to a problem? Or would you rather have an evolution, which is evolving, which is creating this greater life? I'm going to go with evolution. Now, I've said it on here. I said it probably recently. And one of the words that I am letting go is this thing called a healing journey. Yes, I've said it for years. Yes, I've said it on here for probably a couple of years. But I realized I don't want to continue to say healing journey. I want to say expanding or even evolving journey or expanding, because healing, I have, which you might not be able to notice, thank goodness for my lights and stuff. I have, I got a facial. My birthday was 2 days ago, but I got a facial for it. And I had a reaction. So I'm working on how to heal my face because it's breaking out or it's like red. My rosacea, I have rosacea, was acting up. So I'm working on healing that and taking steps to heal that because there's something not right. But when I thought about it, when it came to my life, there's nothing wrong with my life. But I want to expand on my knowledge and to create this life that feels right for me, that's inviting. So even if I don't add a word in front of journey, I'm on my transformational journey. So think about that. What sounds better? Yep, I'm still on this journey of healing. What part of me needs to be healed? Or if I say, I'm on this transformational journey, to me, it sounds better. It sounds more like I'm trying to transform. I'm still accepting the person I am, and I'm still transforming and expanding who I am because I am expanding as a person. And I'm not saying anything about anybody. If that's the word they love to use, is this word healing. Not saying anything wrong with it. It's just a word that I released in 2026 because I wanted to continue to transform my life, empower myself, because I felt like every time I was saying healing, I was getting this feeling like, what's wrong with me? Yeah, I know I have bad back. I know I have sciatica. I know I have forms of arthritis, and I'm working on that. And sometimes I call that I'm healing, even though some of that's not going to heal because it's structural. But I'm expanding who I am. I'm taking in more knowledge to change my new outcomes, change the new words that I'm saying to myself. So those are just a couple of foundational words. Is I'm expanding. And another thing is broken. I hear it all the time. I just feel broken when I'm working with clients and they say the word broken. And I'm like, what's broke? Is your leg broke? Is your finger broke? Is your nose broke? I mean, what part of you is broken? Well, I mean, the inside. How about you just say you're trying to become, you're becoming the person that you want to become? There's no part of you that's broken. We're not broken. I mean, yes, you can break your leg, your finger, your foot, your back, almost everything in your body. For a man, he can break a certain body part. Um, but when it comes to us evolving and expanding and transforming and empowering, we're becoming. We're not broken at all. So there's another expansion of a word. There are so many this year that I didn't just step into this. 2026 jumped. But a couple of years ago, I was with another coach and I used the word trigger. And she goes, I don't use that word in my vocabulary. And I was like, why? She's like, because think about trigger, a trigger finger, trigger. And I was like, challenged. Because whenever someone starts saying, oh, did I trigger you? You're already in that defense mechanism. You're already in the fight or flight mode. Think about that. When you hear the word trigger, you're already looking. Should I fight? Should I fly? But think about this. I got challenged today, which is a true statement. I got challenged today. I didn't get triggered. Yeah, I got that racing feeling in my chest. My heart was pounding a little bit more. And I was like, oh, I'm feeling uncomfortable. But I wasn't ready to fight or flight. Now, if I said, oh my God, this is triggering me, I can already know that if I say the word, I'm going to be in that fight or flight. So it's more about being challenged. So now that I've kind of dove into that, think about some words in your own life because we're going to be going on a break in a couple of minutes. And I want you to think about some words in your own life that you would like, that you know give you these sensations. Maybe when it comes to your nervous system, it becomes unregulated when certain words. And like I said, some of the words I'm speaking of are my words that I'm just not going to say anymore. And I'm going to say them because they've been 56, 57. I'm 57 now. They've been 57 years of my vocabulary. So it's learning to not change them overnight, but learning that I want to expand my vocabulary. I want to expand who I am. So I'm taking these words and just which ones do I want to keep? Which ones do I not want to keep? So who am I? I am Sandee Byrd. I am a coach that works with men, women. I have 3 programs. If you go to my website, Sandee, Sandee, Byrd, Byrd.com, that are all about finding who you are. If you need to thrive through forgiveness, if you're really struggling with letting go and you want to thrive through that stage of forgiveness, where maybe I'm not sure if I'm ready to let this go, but I need to go on with life. I have a program for that where we can dive in. I also have a program which is about finding your empowerment. Yes, I'm trying to make sure I'm finding your empowerment and unleash your authentic self. Similar, but not. Once you've kind of like gotten into your life and you're like, you know what? I'm ready to be empowered. I'm ready to take these next steps in my life. I just don't know maybe what they are. I don't know how to do that. That's what that program is about. It's kind of like the accelerated program. But if you just want to learn what it is to be authentic, Unleash Your Authentic Self is another one of my programs. And like I've said before, authentic was a word up until 2 years ago I did not embrace. It was not part of my vocabulary. I felt icky about it because I didn't know who my authentic self was. So that's why it's important to like define words. Like I said, authentic, say it was 3 years ago. Yeah, 3 years ago, 2026, almost 3 years ago. If you would have said authentic, I would have been like, ooh, I don't like that word because I didn't know. I hadn't unleashed that authentic part of me. I didn't know who my authentic self was. And now I do. And that's why I have new vocabularies. So those are 3 of my programs. Like it always is, it's free to get on a connection call with me to kind of maybe see where your roadmap is in life because you are your driver. I'm just sitting in the passenger seat asking where we're going and maybe saying, okay, what if we took a left instead of a right? But anyway, It's going to be time for our first break. And like I always say, if you're enjoying this show, please give us a 5-star review. Search Emotional Elevator. It would be very grateful to me, and it will assist me in getting this information out to those that really need it. But during the break, I want you to think about, what are some words in your life that maybe before were big words and now you kind of go, I need a new word. Or maybe there's a word like authentic that doesn't feel good to you now, but you want to know what that word really means to you. So let's go to our break.
Are you living a life of psychological trauma or suffering from an addiction? Are you ready to learn new techniques to elevate your emotions without sustaining or obtaining them from substances that are not good for your mind or body? Then continue to tune into Emotional Elevator with trauma, addiction, life, and spiritual coach, Sandee Byrd, where you will learn techniques to elevate your emotions that don't require a magic pill, food, or impulsive behavior. Listen to Emotional Elevator with Sandee Byrd, Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Mountain, 4 p.m. Pacific, on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email become a host at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is Emotional Elevator with Sandee Byrd. To participate in this program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also send an email to sandy@emotionalelevator.com. Now, back to the program.
Well, welcome back. And you're joining me. I am Sandee Byrd on Emotional Elevator on the Inspired Choices Network or any other platform you are watching or listening to me. If you are enjoying the show, like always, please give me a 5-star review on iTunes. Search Emotional Elevator. I will be very grateful, and this will help to assist in getting this information out. Because I know there's people out there that words, you're ready to let go of those words. And I asked during the break, what words might you have that you want to release, let go? And what words maybe you want to invite into your life? One of the biggest ones is, I said, resolution, because I don't feel like there's a problem to fix. And think about my nervous system. My nervous system is regulated when I use the word evolution, because resolution to me feels like there's something that I need to solve a problem to. Evolution means I'm just expanding, I'm evolving, I'm becoming my higher best self. And then one of the other words, of course, was healing, becoming expanding, because when you're healing, you could be healing from a broken arm, a broken leg, or something. Not, I need to heal my trauma. I need to heal. No, I invite that in. And there's certain words that also make you feel icky. One of the words, like I said, is broken and becoming. Are you broken or are you becoming? I hear that all the time. People get on a connection call with me or discovery call, whatever you want to call the free call, and say, I just don't want to feel broken anymore. How does that feel? Where do you feel that in the body? What is broken? And then it's more about becoming. I talked about trigger and challenged. Think about it. Trigger already in your nervous system, and your brain already is, when they hear trigger, fight or flight, fight or flight. Instead, I was challenged, and I said I was challenged today. Trauma. This is a big word I used about all my life. Oh, all the trauma I went through. No, because my nervous system was unregulated with that. When I changed it to my story, my complex story, my life story, it feels more accepting. And that's what it's about. Instead of going into trauma, because some of my life was not traumatic. There was great, huge, wonderful things that stick in my mind that some people think are trauma. And then there's other things that are awful trauma, but it's my story. It's who I am. It represents me. So that's a word that coming into this year, I decided to let go of my trauma. No, it's my story. Fixing. That's another one. Everyone wants to fix something. Let's not fix it. What needs to be fixed? How about we understand it? I understand now why I had people pleasing, why I had separation anxiety, why I had all these things, why I was an emotional eater. I understand it now. There was nothing to fix, because that again sounds like it was broken. It's understanding it. Oh, one of the big ones, stuck. I'm just stuck. No, I'm in the process. I'm not stuck. You can tell, like, your body already, like, I want to hunch over when I say, like, I'm in the process. I'm already evolving. I'm sitting up. I'm kind of taking that, even though to be in the process, it can get icky. That process to go on this journey of transformation and empowering myself to change who I was and to become this person that's evolved using all my words, it's a process. And it's part of my story. And it's expanding my knowledge and who I am now compared to who I was. But it's also understanding my story, understanding why I am the way I am, understanding it, embracing it, taking it in, allowing my nervous system to feel accepting, to feel embraced, to feel that I have all the knowledge and wisdom in me to do all the things that I want to do. One of the biggest ones, and this is probably going to be the showstopper, is and. Using and instead of but. And I never realized this until for the last year. I want to say I've been corrected a lot in my new coaching industry. Is we don't like to hear but. We like to hear and. And I was like, but why? Okay, right there. But why is judgment. That is all judgment. Plus, think about it. I have transformed my life so much, but I got a lot to learn. You don't care what I said first. You're just hearing, oh, she's got a lot to learn. If I said I have been transforming and empowering my life, and I still have a lot to learn, doesn't that sound more empowering, more transformational, more evolutional? Think about that. Next time you say a sentence or somebody else says a sentence and then they go, but, see if you can correlate the two. Or ask them to say, what if you said and? Because that is one of the biggest things in the coaching industry that we do is it's all about and. I want to live a happy and joyful life. And I know there might be some suffering I'm going to have to go through. I want to work on expanding my knowledge and evolving into the person I want to be. And there might be some setbacks. So, what words have you maybe thought of that don't feel like it's part of your vocabulary? And how can you change that? And what words might have not been part of your vocabulary, and how can you invite them into your space, into your mindset? See, stepping out of 2025 and going into 2026 has been a game changer for me, is to wake up 2 days after the new year and go, I'm done with these words. Doesn't mean I'm not going to say it, because I'm still evolving and I still have setbacks. I still have challenges. I'm still writing my story. And I'm still inviting in. So think about that. I'm in the process. And I have some things I need to learn. So just think about words within your own life that maybe were powerful words. Maybe you are on your healing journey, and that's a comfortable way for you to look at it. I'm not saying anything's wrong with that. Never going to say the words that you choose to use as you evolve, but I want you to think about when it comes to regulating your nervous system while transforming your life or expanding your knowledge or empowering yourself to change. Maybe change isn't a good word for you. I just want you to think about words that might have an effect on your whole evolution and your whole processing and your nervous system. Because one of the biggest things with my clients that I talk about is you have to regulate this nervous system. And the way I regulate my nervous system might not be the same way you regulate your nervous system. Sometimes for me to regulate my nervous system is to do a great cry. Some people also, the way they regulate their nervous system is to pound a table. I do all of it, but what I'm saying is whatever caused you to get this system regulated, because this system has billions. The nervous system has billions of nerves in there. I did a show on this. Probably going to reintroduce it. We have billions of nerves in our body. So what words would you like to let go of? What words would you like to invite into your life? Again, I am Sandee Byrd. You can reach out to me at Sandee, Sandee, Byrd, BYRD.com. Get on a call with me on any social media at Sandee, Sandee, BYRD. And thank you for joining me tonight. What words are you ready to change?
Thank you for listening to the Emotional Elevator Show. Sandee returns Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Mountain, 4 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. Until then, start elevating your emotions and stop riding the emotional elevator that is stopping you from living the life you deserve.